Cole is a very energetic, spunky, funny, wild child. Cole is my wild child, but he's such a shining light, and he cares so much about other people. I think he often forgets his own situation. He had a very normal, healthy life. The first year, everything was fine. June 26th of 2019, we had been at the lake all day, and he randomly got sick right before we left. And things just didn't seem to get any better on the way home. He was still getting sick. His lips were turning blue. His body temperature was dropping. He was going into shock. So we rushed him to Hemby Children's Hospital, and he was immediately brought to the PICU. And the surgical team came in and realized how emergent the situation was. They knew it was not something that had been building up, because initially they thought maybe it was just a bowel obstruction. But after hearing how quickly the turn of events happened, they decided they needed to do emergency surgery. We were very scared. We had never seen that many people in a room working on our son. We knew it was very, very serious. After the first surgery, we thought everything was going to be fine. But about 12 hours later, the surgeon came back in and said that he needed to go back in and just check everything.
So when I first met Cole, he had the breathing tube in, very, very sick. His belly had obstructed and it lost blood to the intestines, and so they had to be removed. And they were so sick, the intestines themselves, that they couldn't close his belly. So he had the breathing tube in, he was paralyzed, which means we muscle relaxed him, he was sedated, and we were just hoping things were going to get better.
After the second surgery, the surgeon told us that he really needed to make a turn, that he had suffered a very catastrophic injury to his intestines, and that he really needed to make a turn that night or things were not going to look good. We were given scenarios, and there at the very beginning, he said the worst case scenario we're not going to talk about because we're going to try everything we can to keep that from happening. The best case scenario would be that he would go home with an ostomy bag. And we ended up with a best case scenario. He had an ostomy for 6 months. Cole has had 12 surgeries from June 26th until January the 9th.
He also had a stroke here while he was in the intensive care unit. There was lack of oxygen to his brain, and so at some point he wasn't able to move any of his left side. So here's this 6-year-old who has sick lungs, a sick belly, and now is being faced with not moving his left side. And the ability for him to get a breathing tube into his neck, to let us get him right to physical therapy and get working on physical therapy so that we could send him to rehab was so important. And so he got this tube in his throat, and then he learned how to talk through it, and he would plug it up and talk to us and tease us, and he worked with the physical therapist and the occupational therapist, and to this day I can't tell he even had a stroke. And it ended up he worked so hard in the hospital he never had to go to physical therapy. Cole wins your heart the minute you see him, which anyone who's met him, he just has such an amazing personality. Pretty soon he was doing the dancing in the hallways for us and doing the floss, and he'd walk around, he knew every nurse. We called him the mayor of the PICU. Today he's wonderful. Cole right now is at home, running around without any tubes and joking and teasing and doing better than any of us could have dreamed of.
Cole is completely back to normal. You would never know that he had just had surgery. Our family will forever be grateful to Novant Health Presbyterian Medical Center and to Hemby Children's Hospital for everything that they did for our Cole. I couldn't imagine taking him anywhere else. Their saying is remarkable medicine, and I truly believe that it is remarkable. And it was all the people here that made that possible.